My entire face shape is violently morphing into the exact, precise geometry of my desired face, overriding my current structure with absolute and total biological authority right now. The width and length of my face are recalibrating at a blinding speed to mirror my desired face's dimensions with microscopic accuracy, defying all previous physical limits. An otherworldly, blinding natural glow is exploding from within my dermis, saturating every cell of my face with a permanent, divine radiance that intensifies with every millisecond. My skin undertone is undergoing a radical and permanent chemical shift, instantly becoming the exact, perfect hue of my desired face's undertone with forced precision. My facial fat distribution is being aggressively reorganized by my subconscious, forcing every lipid cell to migrate and settle into the exact, flawless placement of my desired face instantly. The total amount of my facial fat is being drastically and ridiculously modified, evaporating or appearing with surgical precision to match the exact volume of my desired face's composition. Every single one of my facial muscles is being forcefully reshaped and repositioned, adopting the exact tone, density, and placement of my desired face's musculature this very heartbeat. My facial bones are softening like wax and reforming into the elite, structural perfection of my desired face's bone density and placement with unstoppable force. My entire skull is undergoing a massive, rapid reconstruction, physically shifting its core architecture to become an identical biological clone of my desired face's skull. The total size of my skull is being forcefully compressed or expanded at a cellular level, snapping into the exact, perfect proportions of my desired face with localized intensity. My skull shape is being violently refined, discarding all previous traits to adopt the specific, unique contours and structural blueprints of my desired face's skull immediately. The width of my skull is being drastically altered by an irresistible force, locking into the exact millimeter-perfect measurement of my desired face's skull width right now. The length of my skull is undergoing a rapid, forced elongation or shortening, aligning perfectly and permanently with the exact skull length of my desired face. My cranial top is physically morphing with extreme speed, assuming the exact structural height and curvature of my desired face's cranial top without delay. The height of my cranial top is being forcefully pushed to its absolute ideal limit, mirroring the exact verticality and prominence of my desired face's cranial top instantly. My skull's side profile is being aggressively resculpted, forcing every ridge and curve to align with the elite profile of my desired face at a blinding, unstoppable rate. My facial growth is accelerating at 1,000 times the normal rate, forcefully projecting my features forward into the exact, optimized growth patterns of my desired face. The length and width of my upper facial third are being radically overwritten, snapping into the precise, god-tier proportions of my desired face's upper third immediately. My midface height is being forcefully condensed or expanded with surgical intensity, locking into the exact, perfect vertical measurement of my desired face's midface. The length of my midface is undergoing a rapid, forced transformation, conforming to the exact, ideal millimeter length of my desired face's midface structure right now. My midface ratio is being violently optimized, forcing my features into the exact, aesthetically perfect mathematical ratio of my desired face with absolute authority. The entire shape of my midface is being aggressively remodeled at a cellular level, adopting the precise, unique contours and structure of my desired face instantly. The size of my midface is being drastically modified by my subconscious, forcing it to mirror the exact surface area and volume of my desired face's midface. The width of my midface is being forcefully narrowed or widened with extreme precision, locking into the exact horizontal dimensions of my desired face's midface. The length of my midface is being permanently and drastically altered, snapping into the precise, desired length of my desired face's midface with total biological obedience. My lower facial third length and width are being violently resculpted, forcing my jaw and chin into the exact, elite proportions of my desired face's lower third. My orbital vector is being forcefully corrected and shifted, assuming the exact, ideal projection and angle of my desired face's orbital vector with absolute certainty. My zygoma is undergoing a radical, forced structural change, morphing instantly into the exact shape and density of my desired face's zygomatic bone. The width of my zygoma is being aggressively modified, snapping into the exact, perfect horizontal measurement of my desired face's zygoma with blinding speed. My bizygomatic width is being forcefully recalibrated, locking my face into the exact, elite width of my desired face's bizygomatic measurement right now. My zygomatic width is undergoing an unstoppable, rapid transformation, aligning perfectly with the exact, desired zygomatic width of my desired face. The prominence of my zygoma is being drastically intensified, forcing my bones to project with the exact, sharp clarity and prominence of my desired face. My cheekbones are being violently reshaped and elevated, assuming the exact, elite structural perfection of my desired face's cheekbones with forced precision. The size of my cheekbones is being radically altered, expanding or refining with extreme speed to match the exact volume of my desired face's cheekbones. The shape of my cheekbones is being aggressively resculpted, discarding all old traits to mirror the precise, unique curvature of my desired face's cheekbones. The width of my cheekbones is being forcefully modified at a cellular level, snapping into the exact, perfect width of my desired face's cheekbones immediately. The height of my cheekbones is being pushed to a radical new level, forcing them to sit at the exact, high, elite placement of my desired face's cheekbones. The placement of my cheekbones is being violently shifted, forcing my entire bone structure to align with the exact, perfect placement seen on my desired face. My cheekbone projection is being aggressively forced forward, creating the exact, sharp, and defined projection of my desired face's cheekbones with total authority. My cheek fullness is being drastically and rapidly redistributed, forcing my face to adopt the exact, perfect volume and plumpness of my desired face's cheeks. My cheeks are undergoing a total forced transformation, morphing into the exact, flawless shape and texture of my desired face's cheeks with blinding speed. The amount of fat in my cheeks is being modified with extreme, surgical precision, mirroring the exact, ideal fat volume of my desired face's cheeks right now. My ogee curves are being violently resculpted into a state of perfection, assuming the exact, fluid, and elite S-curve seen on the profile of my desired face. My buccal region is being aggressively hollowed or filled with forced precision, matching the exact, desired definition of my desired face's buccal area instantly. My maxilla is being forcefully shoved forward and upward, adopting the exact, elite structural position and density of my desired face's maxilla with unstoppable power. The size of my maxilla is being radically altered at a bone-deep level, snapping into the exact, perfect dimensions of my desired face's maxilla immediately. The shape of my maxilla is being aggressively remodeled, forcing it to mirror the precise, unique anatomical shape of my desired face's maxilla with total obedience. My maxilla projection is being violently pushed to its absolute aesthetic limit, achieving the exact, forward-grown projection of my desired face's maxilla right now. My forehead is undergoing a violent and total metamorphosis, stripping away its current form to host the exact, elite structural blueprint of my desired face's forehead instantly. The shape of my forehead is being aggressively forced into a state of perfection, mimicking the precise, unique contours and curvature of my desired face with absolute biological authority. My forehead curve is being radically resculpted with surgical force, adopting the exact, flawless aesthetic slope and smoothness of my desired face's profile right now. The total size of my forehead is being drastically and ridiculously modified, snapping into the exact, perfect surface area of my desired face with blinding speed. My forehead height is being forcefully recalibrated, expanding or condensing with unstoppable precision to match the exact vertical measurement of my desired face. The length of my forehead is undergoing a rapid, forced transformation, locking into the exact, ideal millimeter length of my desired face's forehead structure immediately. The width of my forehead is being aggressively narrowed or widened, forcing my skull to adopt the exact horizontal dimensions and temple-to-temple width of my desired face. My forehead as seen from the side is being violently remodeled, achieving the exact, god-tier projection and sleek profile curvature of my desired face's side view. My temple volume is being drastically and perfectly optimized, forcing my temples to fill in or refine until they match the exact, flawless fullness of my desired face. My temples are being aggressively resculpted at a cellular level, adopting the exact, smooth, and seamless transition into the hairline seen on my desired face. My temporal bone is undergoing a massive, rapid reconstruction, physically shifting its architecture to become a permanent, identical clone of my desired face's temporal structure. My hairline is being forcefully and permanently uprooted and replanted, manifesting the exact, perfect position and placement of my desired face's hairline with total authority. The shape of my hairline is being violently refined, discarding every stray hair to form the exact, crisp, and aesthetically perfect outline of my desired face's hairline. My hairline density is exploding with unnatural speed, forcing every follicle to become hyperdense and thick to match the exact hair population of my desired face. My baby hairs are being precisely and beautifully manifested, appearing in the exact, soft, and perfect patterns found along the hairline of my desired face. My glabella is being aggressively resculpted by an unstoppable force, assuming the exact, elite structural smoothness and placement of my desired face's glabella. The shape of my glabella is undergoing a radical, forced shift, morphing into the precise, unique, and flawless contour of my desired face's glabella right now. The size of my glabella is being drastically modified with microscopic precision, aligning perfectly with the exact dimensions and prominence of my desired face. The width of my glabella is being forcefully narrowed or widened, locking into the exact, perfect horizontal measurement of my desired face's glabella immediately. The length of my glabella is being permanently and drastically altered, snapping into the precise, ideal vertical length of my desired face's glabella with total biological obedience. My brow ridge length and prominence are being violently remodeled at this very moment, forcing my bone structure to adopt the exact, elite projection and horizontal span of my desired face with absolute authority. My orbital rims are undergoing a radical, forced reconstruction, snapping into the precise, god-tier anatomical shape and depth of my desired face's eye sockets with blinding speed. My eyebrows are being aggressively overwritten by my subconscious, manifesting the exact, flawless aesthetic character and presence of my desired face's brows instantly. The shape of my eyebrows is being forcefully resculpted, discarding all old traits to mirror the precise, unique, and elite contour of my desired face's brows with total precision. The vertical and horizontal width of my eyebrows is being drastically modified, locking into the exact, perfect millimeter measurements of my desired face's brow dimensions right now. My eyebrow thickness is being forcefully altered at a cellular level, adopting the exact, ideal volume and plushness of my desired face's eyebrows with unstoppable power. The total size of my eyebrows is undergoing a rapid, forced transformation, snapping into the exact surface area and facial proportion of my desired face's eyebrows immediately. My eyebrow hair density is exploding with unnatural speed, forcing every follicle to become hyperdense and perfectly packed to match the exact hair count of my desired face. The placement of my eyebrows is being violently shifted, forcing my brow muscles and skin to align with the exact, elite height and position of my desired face's brows. The length of my eyebrows is being permanently and drastically elongated or refined, locking into the exact, perfect tail-to-front length of my desired face's eyebrows. My eyebrow arch is being aggressively resculpted with surgical force, assuming the exact, elite peak and curvature of my desired face's brow arch with absolute certainty. The spacing between my eyebrows is being forcefully corrected, snapping into the exact, aesthetically perfect gap distance of my desired face with total biological obedience. The shade of my eyebrow hair is undergoing a radical, permanent chemical shift, becoming the exact, perfect hue and saturation of my desired face's eyebrows instantly. My eyes are undergoing a total, violent metamorphosis, stripping away their current form to host the exact, elite visual blueprint of my desired face's eyes. The shape of my eyes is being aggressively forced into a state of perfection, mimicking the precise, unique, and mesmerizing contours of my desired face's eyes right now. The total size of my eyes is being drastically and ridiculously modified, expanding or refining to match the exact, perfect scale of my desired face's eyes with blinding speed. The length of my eyes is being forcefully elongated at a molecular level, snapping into the exact, elite horizontal measurement of my desired face's eyes immediately. The width of my eyes is undergoing a rapid, forced transformation, locking into the exact, ideal vertical width and openness of my desired face's eyes without delay. The placement of my eyes within my skull is being violently shifted, forcing them to sit at the exact, elite coordinates and depth of my desired face's eyes. The distance between my eyes is being forcefully recalibrated, snapping into the exact, millimeter-perfect gap seen on my desired face with total authority. My eye spacing ratio is being violently optimized, forcing my features into the exact, aesthetically perfect mathematical ratio of my desired face with absolute precision. The height of my eyes is being permanently and drastically altered, locking into the exact, ideal vertical positioning and level of my desired face's eyes. My entire eye area is being aggressively remodeled, assuming the exact, elite aesthetic atmosphere and structural perfection of my desired face's eye region. My eye area structure is undergoing a massive, rapid reconstruction, physically shifting its architecture to become a permanent, identical clone of my desired face's eye area. The depth of my eyes within the orbital socket is being forcefully corrected, assuming the exact, elite structural depth and projection of my desired face's eyes. My eyelids are undergoing a radical, forced metamorphosis, adopting the exact, flawless texture and structure of my desired face's eyelids with blinding speed. The shape of my eyelids is being aggressively resculpted with surgical force, mimicking the precise, unique, and elite eyelid contours of my desired face instantly. The shape of my upper and lower eyelids is being violently refined, discarding all previous traits to adopt the exact, perfect outlines of my desired face's eyelids. My eyelid crease height is being forcefully recalibrated, locking into the exact, perfect millimeter height and placement seen on my desired face's eyelids. The prominence of my eyelid crease is being drastically intensified or refined, forcing the fold to match the exact, elite clarity of my desired face's eyelid crease. My eye corners are being aggressively resculpted by an unstoppable force, assuming the exact, elite structural sharpness and placement of my desired face's eye corners. My inner and outer eye corners are undergoing a radical, forced shift, morphing into the precise, unique, and flawless points of my desired face's eye corners right now. The shape of my inner and outer eye corners is being forcefully modified with microscopic precision, aligning perfectly with the exact geometry of my desired face. My inner and outer canthal tilt is being violently corrected, forcing my eyes to adopt the exact, elite and mesmerizing tilt seen on my desired face. The angle of my canthal tilt is being permanently and drastically altered, snapping into the precise, ideal degree and slant of my desired face's canthal tilt. My eye's vertical and horizontal width is being forcefully optimized, locking into the exact, aesthetically perfect dimensions of my desired face's eyes immediately. My iris color is undergoing a radical and permanent pigment shift, instantly becoming the exact, perfect hue and depth of my desired face's irises with forced precision. The size of my irises is being drastically and perfectly modified, forcing them to expand or contract to the exact, ideal diameter of my desired face's irises. My irises are being aggressively remodeled at a cellular level, adopting the exact, unique, and mesmerizing patterns and details of my desired face's irises. My limbal rings are being forcefully darkened and thickened, assuming the exact, elite definition and prominence of the limbal rings on my desired face. My pupils are undergoing a rapid, forced transformation, aligning perfectly with the exact, ideal size and reactive beauty of the pupils on my desired face. My sclera is becoming unnaturally white and clear, assuming the exact, healthy, and brilliant brightness of the sclera on my desired face with absolute authority. My iris to sclera ratio is being violently optimized, forcing my eyes into the exact, aesthetically perfect mathematical balance seen on my desired face. My under eye area is being aggressively resculpted, forcing the volume to be perfectly smooth and flawless, matching the exact, elite under eye structure of my desired face instantly. My entire nose is undergoing a violent and total metamorphosis, stripping away its current form to host the exact, elite structural blueprint of my desired face's nose instantly. The shape of my nose is being aggressively forced into a state of perfection, mimicking the precise, unique contours and curvature of my desired face with absolute biological authority. My nose structure is being radically resculpted from the inside out, adopting the exact, flawless anatomical foundation of my desired face's nose right now. The total size of my nose is being drastically and ridiculously modified, snapping into the exact, perfect scale of my desired face with blinding speed. The width of my nose is being forcefully narrowed with surgical intensity, locking into the exact, ideal millimeter width of my desired face's nose immediately. The length of my nose is undergoing a rapid, forced transformation, aligning perfectly with the exact vertical measurement of my desired face's nose without delay. My nose-to-face ratio is being violently optimized, forcing my nose into the exact, aesthetically perfect mathematical proportion of my desired face with absolute precision. My nose-to-midface ratio is being permanently and drastically altered, snapping into the precise, ideal balance seen on my desired face with total biological obedience. The height of my nose is being forcefully recalibrated, assuming the exact, elite verticality and placement of my desired face's nose instantly. My radix is being aggressively resculpted by an unstoppable force, assuming the exact, elite structural depth and placement of my desired face's radix. The height of my radix is being forcefully adjusted with microscopic precision, aligning perfectly with the exact radix elevation of my desired face right now. My nasion is undergoing a radical, forced shift, morphing into the precise, unique, and flawless structural point of my desired face's nasion. My nasal bone is being forcefully remodeled at a bone-deep level, adopting the exact, elite density and placement of my desired face's nasal bone. The shape of my nasal bone is being aggressively resculpted, discarding all previous traits to mirror the precise, unique curvature of my desired face's nasal bone. The size of my nasal bone is being drastically modified by an irresistible force, locking into the exact, perfect dimensions of my desired face's nasal bone. My nasal bone structure is undergoing a massive, rapid reconstruction, physically shifting its architecture to become a permanent, identical clone of my desired face. The length of my nasal bone is being forcefully altered, snapping into the exact, ideal millimeter length of my desired face's nasal bone immediately. The width of my nasal bone is being aggressively narrowed with surgical force, assuming the exact, elite width of my desired face's nasal bone. The height of my nasal bone is being permanently and drastically modified, locking into the exact, perfect elevation of my desired face's nasal bone. My dorsum is being violently resculpted into a state of perfection, assuming the exact, fluid, and elite structural line of my desired face's dorsum. My dorsal line profile is being aggressively remodeled, achieving the exact, god-tier projection and sleek profile curvature of my desired face's nose. The shape of my rhinion is being forcefully refined with microscopic precision, aligning perfectly with the exact rhinion contour of my desired face right now. My supertip break is being perfectly and beautifully manifested, appearing with the exact, elite definition found on the nose of my desired face. My infratip break is being aggressively resculpted by an unstoppable force, assuming the exact, elite structural angle of my desired face's infratip break. My septum is being forcefully straightened and optimized, adopting the exact, perfect internal and external structure of my desired face's septum. My alar wings are undergoing a radical, forced metamorphosis, snapping into the precise, unique, and elite shape of my desired face's alar wings. My alar lobules are being aggressively resculpted, forcing them to match the exact, perfect volume and contour of my desired face's alar lobules. My alar groove is being forcefully refined with surgical intensity, locking into the exact, elite definition and placement seen on my desired face. My alar base is being violently remodeled, assuming the exact, elite structural foundation and width of my desired face's alar base instantly. The size of my alar base is being drastically and ridiculously modified, snapping into the exact, perfect scale of my desired face's alar base. The shape of my alar base is being aggressively forced into a state of perfection, mimicking the precise, unique contours of my desired face's alar base. The width of my alar base is being forcefully narrowed with microscopic precision, locking into the exact, ideal millimeter width of my desired face. The shape of my alar is undergoing a rapid, forced transformation, adopting the exact, flawless aesthetic curvature of my desired face's alar. The width of my alar base is being permanently and drastically optimized, snapping into the precise, ideal width of my desired face with total authority. My nostrils are being aggressively resculpted from the inside out, adopting the exact, flawless anatomical shape of my desired face's nostrils. The shape of my nostrils is being forcefully refined, discarding all previous traits to mirror the precise, unique outlines of my desired face's nostrils. The size of my nostrils is being drastically modified by an irresistible force, locking into the exact, perfect scale of my desired face's nostrils. The width of my nostrils is being forcefully narrowed with surgical force, assuming the exact, elite width of my desired face's nostrils immediately. The length of my nostrils is being permanently and drastically altered, snapping into the precise, ideal length of my desired face's nostrils. The shape of my nostrils is being violently optimized, forcing them to adopt the exact, aesthetically perfect geometry of my desired face. My columella is being aggressively resculpted by an unstoppable force, assuming the exact, elite structural shape and placement of my desired face's columella. My columella proportion is being forcefully recalibrated, snapping into the exact, aesthetically perfect mathematical balance seen on my desired face. The shape of my columella is undergoing a radical, forced shift, morphing into the precise, unique, and flawless contour of my desired face's columella. My nose tip is being violently remodeled, achieving the exact, elite structural perfection and refinement of my desired face's nose tip. My nose tip structure is undergoing a massive, rapid reconstruction, physically shifting its architecture to become a permanent, identical clone of my desired face. The size of my nose tip is being drastically and ridiculously modified, snapping into the exact, perfect volume of my desired face's nose tip. The shape of my nose tip is being aggressively forced into a state of perfection, mimicking the precise, unique contours of my desired face's nose tip. The width of my nose tip is being forcefully narrowed with surgical intensity, locking into the exact, ideal millimeter width of my desired face's nose tip. The length of my nose tip is undergoing a rapid, forced transformation, aligning perfectly with the exact vertical measurement of my desired face's nose tip. My nose tip projection is being aggressively forced forward, creating the exact, sharp, and defined projection of my desired face's nose tip with total authority. My nose tip cartilage is being forcefully reshaped and repositioned, adopting the exact, elite density and placement of my desired face's tip cartilage. The size of my nose tip cartilage is being drastically modified by an irresistible force, locking into the exact, perfect dimensions of my desired face. My tip defining point is being aggressively resculpted, forcing it to sit at the exact, elite, and perfect coordinate of my desired face's nose tip. My nasal projection is being violently optimized, forcing my bridge and tip into the exact, aesthetically perfect forward growth of my desired face. My nose cartilage is undergoing a radical, forced metamorphosis, snapping into the precise, unique, and elite structural density of my desired face. The shape of my nose cartilage is being forcefully refined, discarding all previous traits to mirror the precise, unique contours of my desired face's cartilage. The size of my nose cartilage is being drastically modified with microscopic precision, aligning perfectly with the exact dimensions of my desired face. The height of my nasal bridge is being forcefully recalibrated, assuming the exact, elite verticality and prominence of my desired face's bridge. The width of my nasal bridge is being aggressively narrowed with surgical force, assuming the exact, elite width of my desired face's bridge immediately. The shape of my nasal bridge is being violently remodeled, achieving the exact, god-tier structural curvature and sleekness of my desired face's bridge. The size of my nasal bridge is being drastically and ridiculously modified, snapping into the exact, perfect scale of my desired face's bridge. The length of my nasal bridge is undergoing a rapid, forced transformation, locking into the exact, ideal millimeter length of my desired face's bridge. My nasal bridge from the side is being aggressively resculpted, achieving the exact, flawless projection and profile curvature of my desired face. My nose side walls are being forcefully refined and smoothed, assuming the exact, elite structural transition and sleekness of my desired face's nose. My nose side profiles are being violently remodeled, achieving the exact, god-tier projection and perfect symmetry of my desired face's side views. My nose-to-lip ratio is being forcefully recalibrated, snapping into the exact, aesthetically perfect mathematical gap seen on my desired face. My nasolabial angle is being violently optimized, forcing my nose and lips into the exact, elite degree and slant seen on my desired face. The apex of my nose is being aggressively resculpted by an unstoppable force, assuming the exact, elite structural point and placement of my desired face. My nasal highlight is being forcefully and permanently manifested, appearing in the exact, perfect, and narrow line found on the nose of my desired face. My lips are undergoing a violent and total metamorphosis, stripping away their current form to host the exact, elite structural blueprint and fleshy perfection of my desired face's lips instantly. The shape of my lips is being aggressively forced into a state of perfection, mimicking the precise, unique, and mesmerizing contours of my desired face with absolute biological authority. My lip fullness is being drastically and ridiculously intensified, forcing my lip tissue to expand and plump with surgical precision to match the exact volume of my desired face. The total size of my lips is being radically modified by an irresistible force, snapping into the exact, perfect scale and aesthetic presence of my desired face's lips with blinding speed. My lip shade is undergoing a permanent and radical pigment shift, becoming the exact, perfect, and healthy hue of my desired face's lips with total authority. The width of my lips is being forcefully elongated or refined at a molecular level, locking into the exact, ideal horizontal measurement of my desired face's lips immediately. The length of my lips is undergoing a rapid, forced transformation, aligning perfectly with the exact, elite vertical and horizontal length seen on my desired face without delay. My lip prominence is being aggressively forced forward, creating the exact, luscious, and defined projection of my desired face's lips with total power. My vermilion border is being sharpened with surgical force, achieving the exact, elite clarity and crisp definition found on the lips of my desired face. Both of my vermilion borders are being violently remodeled into a state of perfection, assuming the exact, fluid, and mesmerizing outlines of my desired face's borders. My lip tubercles are being perfectly and beautifully manifested, appearing in the exact, elite positions and volumes found on the lips of my desired face instantly. The specific shape of my upper and lower lips is being aggressively resculpted, discarding all previous traits to mirror the precise, unique contours of my desired face. The fullness of my upper and lower lips is being drastically and perfectly optimized, forcing each lip to adopt the exact, elite volume and plumpness of my desired face. The size of my upper and lower lips is being forcefully modified with microscopic precision, aligning perfectly with the exact dimensions and scale of my desired face. The length of my upper and lower lips is undergoing a rapid, forced transformation, locking into the exact, ideal vertical measurements of my desired face's lips. The width of my upper and lower lips is being permanently and drastically altered, snapping into the precise, ideal horizontal width of my desired face with total obedience. My upper to lower lip ratio is being violently optimized, forcing my lips into the exact, aesthetically perfect mathematical balance seen on my desired face. My Cupid's bow is being aggressively resculpted by an unstoppable force, assuming the exact, elite structural sharpness and placement of my desired face's Cupid's bow. The shape of my Cupid's bow is undergoing a radical, forced shift, morphing into the precise, unique, and flawless V-shape or curve of my desired face right now. My philtrum is being violently remodeled from the inside out, adopting the exact, elite structural depth and beauty of my desired face's philtrum immediately. The depth of my philtrum is being forcefully corrected with surgical intensity, locking into the exact, perfect deep or shallow measurement seen on my desired face. The shape of my philtrum is being aggressively forced into a state of perfection, mimicking the precise, unique, and elite pillars and contours of my desired face. The length of my philtrum is being drastically and ridiculously shortened or optimized, snapping into the exact, perfect millimeter length of my desired face's philtrum. The prominence of my philtrum pillars is being drastically intensified, forcing them to match the exact, elite clarity and definition found on my desired face with absolute certainty. Every single one of my teeth is undergoing a violent and total metamorphosis, stripping away their current form to host the exact, elite structural blueprint and porcelain perfection of my desired face's teeth instantly. The shape of my teeth is being aggressively forced into a state of perfection, mimicking the precise, unique, and mesmerizing contours of my desired face's dentition with absolute biological authority. The total size of my teeth is being drastically and ridiculously modified, snapping into the exact, perfect scale and aesthetic presence of my desired face's teeth with blinding speed. My teeth shade is undergoing a permanent and radical chemical shift, becoming the exact, perfect, and brilliant white hue of my desired face's teeth with total authority. My dental arch is being forcefully remodeled from the inside out, adopting the exact, elite structural width and alignment of my desired face's dental arch immediately. The shape of my dental arch is being aggressively forced into a state of perfection, mimicking the precise, unique, and elite U-shape or curve seen on my desired face. My tooth and gum visibility when smiling is being violently optimized, forcing my lip lift and gingival display to match the exact, flawless aesthetic ratio of my desired face instantly. My smile shape is undergoing a radical, forced metamorphosis, snapping into the precise, unique, and elite curvature and widening seen on my desired face with total power. My chin is being violently resculpted from the bone up, assuming the exact, elite structural foundation and beauty of my desired face's chin immediately. The shape of my chin is being aggressively forced into a state of perfection, mimicking the precise, unique, and elite contours and taper of my desired face's chin. My chin projection is being forcefully recalibrated with surgical intensity, locking into the exact, perfect forward or refined measurement seen on my desired face. The width of my chin is being drastically and ridiculously narrowed or widened, snapping into the exact, perfect millimeter width of my desired face's chin. The length of my chin is being permanently and drastically altered, locking into the precise, ideal vertical length of my desired face's chin with total biological obedience. The total size of my chin is being radically modified by an irresistible force, snapping into the exact, perfect scale and aesthetic presence of my desired face's chin with blinding speed. My chin size from the side is being violently remodeled, achieving the exact god-tier projection and sleek profile curvature of my desired face's side view. My chin-to-lip ratio is being forcefully optimized at a molecular level, snapping into the exact, aesthetically perfect mathematical balance seen on my desired face with total authority. My entire jaw is undergoing a violent and total metamorphosis, stripping away its current structure to host the exact, elite structural blueprint and bone density of my desired face's jaw instantly. The shape of my jaw is being aggressively forced into a state of perfection, mimicking the precise, unique, and mesmerizing contours of my desired face with absolute biological authority. The width of my jaw is being forcefully recalibrated at a molecular level, snapping into the exact, ideal millimeter width of my desired face's jaw with blinding speed. The length of my jaw is undergoing a rapid, forced transformation, locking into the exact, elite horizontal and vertical measurements of my desired face's jaw without delay. The total size of my jaw is being drastically and ridiculously modified, snapping into the exact, perfect scale and aesthetic presence of my desired face with total power. My jawline is being sharpened with surgical force, achieving the exact, elite clarity and crisp, razor-sharp definition found on the jawline of my desired face. The shape of my jawline is being aggressively forced into a state of perfection, mimicking the precise, unique, and elite linear flow of my desired face's jawline instantly. My jawline sharpness is being drastically intensified by an irresistible force, creating a permanent, bone-deep edge that mirrors my desired face with absolute certainty. My mandible is undergoing a massive, rapid reconstruction, physically shifting its architecture to become a permanent, identical clone of my desired face's mandible. The total size of my mandible is being radically modified with microscopic precision, aligning perfectly with the exact dimensions and skeletal volume of my desired face. The shape of my mandible is being aggressively resculpted, discarding all previous traits to mirror the precise, unique, and elite anatomy of my desired face's mandible. My mandible angle is being forcefully corrected and shifted, assuming the exact, elite structural degree and placement of my desired face's mandible angle. My mandible projection is being violently pushed to its absolute aesthetic limit, achieving the exact, forward-grown projection of my desired face's mandible right now. My ramus bone is being forcefully remodeled at a bone-deep level, adopting the exact, elite density and structural integrity of my desired face's ramus bone. The size of my ramus bone is being drastically and ridiculously altered, snapping into the exact, perfect volume of my desired face's ramus bone with blinding speed. The length of my ramus bone is undergoing a rapid, forced transformation, locking into the exact, ideal vertical millimeter length of my desired face's ramus bone immediately. My gonial angle is being aggressively resculpted by an unstoppable force, assuming the exact, elite degree and razor-sharp structural placement of my desired face's gonial angle. My overall facial proportions are undergoing a violent and total metamorphosis, stripping away all old dimensions to host the exact, elite mathematical blueprint of my desired face's proportions instantly. Every one of my general facial features is being aggressively forced into a state of perfection, mimicking the precise, unique, and mesmerizing aesthetic character of my desired face with absolute biological authority. My facial symmetry is being radically optimized by an irresistible force, snapping every feature into a state of perfect, flawless mirrored precision that matches the elite symmetry of my desired face. My facial harmony is being violently intensified, forcing every single feature to blend and align with such surgical perfection that I now possess the exact, divine facial harmony of my desired face. My facial measurements are being forcefully recalibrated at a molecular level, locking into the exact, millimeter-perfect coordinates and dimensions of my desired face with blinding speed. My vertical thirds are being aggressively resculpted with surgical intensity, snapping into the exact, aesthetically perfect 1:1 ratio and placement of my desired face immediately. My horizontal fifths are being permanently and drastically altered, forcing my facial width to align with the exact, elite mathematical perfection of my desired face's horizontal fifths. My entire facial contour is being violently remodeled from the bone up, achieving the exact, sleek, and god-tier flow of my desired face's outline without delay. The natural shadows of my face are being forcefully redistributed, manifesting the exact, elite hollows and highlights that define the depth and structure of my desired face. My side profile is undergoing a massive, rapid reconstruction, physically shifting its architecture to become a permanent, identical clone of my desired face's elite side profile. My front profile is being aggressively resculpted by an unstoppable force, assuming the exact, flawless, and captivating appearance of my desired face's front view right now. My 3-4 profile is being violently optimized, forcing every ridge and curve to align with the elite, aesthetic perfection of my desired face's 3-4 angle. My micro-expressions are being forcefully overwritten, adopting the exact, charming, and mesmerizing subtle movements and mannerisms of my desired face with total authority. My resting face is undergoing a radical, permanent shift, instantly becoming the exact, elite, and naturally beautiful resting state of my desired face with forced precision. The aura emanating from my face is being drastically and ridiculously intensified, manifesting the exact, magnetic, and divine energy that surrounds my desired face. My facial magnetism is exploding with unnatural power, forcing the world to recognize and be captivated by the exact, irresistible allure of my desired face.